to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, it's part of the show. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged, caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish galloping wars. No remedy can save the lost, in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe is delight in a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. I said, welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated 8 makes you believe you're spinning in space while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate, how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate. No one to help me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates. But my brother, heaven could never be late, and rockets don't work in space. It's all fake, the show is on Mars. It's a joke, but you're too far gone, it won't be long. Fepe's beak is strong. We have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond, and lives of truth that hits the bong and sings the song, turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with a holy gown and all of us wearing our holy crowns. So the earth is flat and we probably just won't get along, just to go along. I said, welcome to the show where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know.
Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing fine today. Today's Monday morning here in Japan, and I hope you guys are doing fine today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I got some interesting stuff to share with you. A shout out to all of you who are joining the show. Thanks for being here, brothers. New Hampshire is in the house. Hello, you, David. Go ahead then. Have my glass. Yuko is in the house too. Hello, Yuko. Hope you're doing fine. We have 2 typhoons coming to Japan this week, so stay safe there in Kyoto. So Amanda is in the house. Thank you, Amanda, for being here. Joel, how are you, Joel? Tennessee is in the house. Mike in Michigan. Hello, Mike. How are you? Florida. Be careful with those electrical storms in Florida over there. Vancouver is in the house. Hello, Victoria. I did read your message this morning. I haven't gone through the video yet. We're going to be talking about that today. Sarasota is in the house. So thanks for being here, all of you. Garth, long-time viewer. Thank you all, guys, for being here today. So I do want to share some interesting stuff, and we will talk about what we went over last weekend when I talked about the Millennial Kingdom and dispensationalism being basically an American created, American made doctrine. But we will leave this for the second part of the show today. I do want to share this stuff about the Pangea, and I think if you come along with me, you might even agree with me that Pangea really happened in 70 AD. So I'm going to go ahead and get started right away. And this stuff is really interesting, important for us to talk about it. So according to mainstream science, the supercontinent Pangea formed about 335 million years ago, and then it stayed together as one huge landmass for roughly 100 to 160 million years. It began to break apart around 200 million years ago. That's according to mainstream science, of course. And I have this from this website. I'm going to go ahead and share the website here. No, I'm not going to share on the chat. I'm just going to show that this is what they teach. So the bookmarks right here, Pangea, the supercontinent, and that's where you get this image right there. So what's going on here? So let's go back. If you guys remember, there's a Bible passage, 2 Peter 3:5. For this they willingly are ignorant of that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth is standing out of the water and in the water. So at the beginning of Genesis, we see that the Spirit of God was hovering above the water. So waters were here first, and then God spoke, and the dry land appeared. So it kind of would look like something like this, like they have in the Pangea, right? The dry land appeared, and we have all this water around. So it gets really interesting when you look at this is what I came up with. Remember the names Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was more recent. Before it was just this single land in the middle of the ocean. Now I did some research and I found out that in the population, world population 70 AD was around 250 million people. Now, Brazil today, as populous as it seems to be, there is only around 220 million people in Brazil. So you see one country alone, and there's plenty of land. Actually, Japan, I think a couple of years ago, had about 180 million people, just the island of Japan. So you can fit all this population in one single area easily. So perhaps they were not as scattered at that time as they are today. Now, why is this important? Some people have been taken to ChatGPT, and you can do it yourself. You can write a prompt asking for ChatGPT to make or to draw up the cosmology according to, let's say, the Book of Enoch. And people have done that, so create the world according to the Book of Enoch, and then you see how it is. And many other people have done differently. They say, well, they write a prompt asking ChatGPT to create an image based on the Bible, just on the passages of the Bible. And then you get the firmament, you get the flat land, everything. So what I did was something different yesterday. I went over ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to describe the world according to Homer. You guys are familiar with Homer and the Iliad? Well, that's the Greek, writer. So that's what ChatGPT gave me. The world according to the Iliad. Right, cosmology, earth, sky, sea, sky, and the realm of the dead. So we have Oceanus, which is this huge uh, sea around right here. The oceans. That it's a current that keeps churning. Very important, guys. Very important because we're gonna see it. So the great encircling river that flows around the world, it is the boundary of all things. The source of the rivers, the sea and the springs. The sun rises from oceans and sinks into it. So you have Uranus there, the heavenly sky, the solid sky dome above, held up by the pillars of the earth, the sun, moon, and stars. Move across an expanse. You have the Mount Olympus in the center, the gods standing right there. Earth, the broad land. And we have Hades, the realm of the dead. Beneath the earth lies Hades, where the souls of the dead dwell. In a shadowy realm far below the light of the sun, we have Tartarus, the deepest pit. Far beneath Hades lies Tartarus, a prison of darkness and torment for the wicked and the rebellious. So this is what we have, the world according to the Iliad by Homer, the hermeneutic of Homer. Earth is flat and broad, Oceanus encircles and defines the world. The sky is a solid expanse above the earth. The sun, moon, and stars move across the sky. Mount Olympus is the dwelling of the gods. Beneath the earth lies Hades, realm of the dead. Tartarus is the deepest place of punishment. The world is upheld by the pillars of the earth. So this is the world not according to the Bible. This is the world according to the Iliad by Homer. I've studied this, back in high school, and so why is this important? Was him describing the world the way it is, like they claimed that it existed 200 millions ago, Pangea. So if Homer was describing exactly what uh, modern science claims happened 200 million years ago, perhaps this idea that the continents were put together were uh, wasn't just an idea, was documented by the people in classical Greece. And the more people have written, so I'm not going to play this video right now. I'm just going to show you guys. This is the exactly what Homer described: the big river cycling, churning around this plane. This is what we observe today. This is the ocean stream around Antarctica, and this data is official data by NOAA, North Oceanic and Air Atmospheric Air, North Atlantic, something like that. And this is the data displayed on a map. Now, not just Homer wrote about this oceanus, this circling river churning around the rim of the earth. Homer was one of the first 8th century BC, according to modern history. We have this guy here in 700 BC. We have 6 to 5. All of them describe the same shape of the earth. Herodotus 484, Pindar, Aeschylus, Euripides, okay, and Apollonius of Rhodes 285. They all describe these oceanus appears within the traditional mythological geography surround the world. So they were describing this thing here. What modern science is telling us that happened 200 million years ago. The Greeks were explaining how the world was like just, before Christ, 100, 200 years before Christ. They were explaining how the world was. So pay attention to this video. This is from uh, you study oceanography, and let me play this video real quick. That's 1 minute long. Very interesting. right? Pay attention to this, how the world's oceans work.
So I've mentioned several times that the Southern Ocean is special because it has no zonal boundaries. It's a complete channel. Since the Southern Ocean is a channel, winds can keep on churning it. So the main features here are the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, one of the more famous currents. It's also known as the West Wind Drift, and it's the only current to completely go around the Earth because of the special channel configuration of this ocean. And this obviously moves more water in terms of spare ribs, the transport, than any other current in the world, right? So look at this figure carefully. It is showing multiple convergences and divergences here. So you have the Antarctic Circumpolar Current outside, or the West Wind Drift.
So this is the fastest current in the world. This is what he is describing is the fastest current in the world. So he is describing today what's happening around Antarctica, exactly what Homer described in his Iliad 800 years BC, before Christ, according to modern history. So my conclusion is that those philosophers, they were describing the world as it was. It's not mythology. They were describing exactly how modern science claims existed 200 million years ago, actually extended all the way until the time of Christ. Right? All these guys, 200 BC, they describe this very same thing. This oceanus, this river around the a specific land in the middle. So this is how the ancient Greek saw, and I did a whole bunch of. I did a video about 4 or 5 years ago or six about how the Greeks never believed the Earth was a spinning ball. You know, um, this is from a Greek website describing how they saw the world. You see this the land in the middle and the oceanus around it. This current, keep they claim to be a big river churning very fast. But it describes right here the Mount Olympus in the middle, right there, the land and the rivers. So I just came across about a video explaining the Iliad by Homer. This is based on the Antikythera mechanism, of course, it's a geocentric model. So the Greeks never believed the Earth was a spinning ball, first place, okay, to start with. But this is from this video. Okay, so first we see here Atlas holding the firmament. He never held a globe on his back, but he held up the firmament. This we see another image, the Strait of Gibraltar, and Atlas holding up the firmament. So this is from this short video I watched describing the Iliad by Homer. And you see here the gods and the land here in the middle and this big river around. And the whole time they describe this. This is Pangea. This is exactly what the science claims to have happened 200 years ago, 200 million years ago. But the Greeks were explaining that's how they saw the world. They were describing the world just before Christ. So you see there, here the river, big river, the land in the middle. And I took several screenshots because they talk about the Iliad and how they saw the world. So there you see again, you see him here, the philosopher explaining oceanus around and the land in the middle. The currents around, the land in the middle. Okay, the gods, the land in the middle, ocean, just like we just heard the guy explain in the video, this strong current around Antarctica. There you see again the gods, the land in the middle, and it's full here. two philosophers talking about the shape of the earth. You see Oceanus and you see the land in the middle. So Pangea did not exist 200 million years ago. It existed was the till the time of Christ. That's how the Greeks described them and described it. See there? And it goes on, the whole video talks about the Iliad, Homer, and how they saw the world. Now remember, this idea was just summary. We find several other Greek, philosophers or mathematicians that describe the world the way they saw. See there? Again, the river, the big river around the mountain. So we still have this big river today. It's the Atlantic current right there, and the land in the middle. So what happened is something happened. If the Greeks were describing the world the way they saw it, so Pangea was up to the time of the Greeks, before Christ. So what happened in 70 AD? So that's what we're going to be talking about right now. So more illustrations showing this big river, this current around the earth, fast current around the flat earth. See, there's so many, all from Homer, the Iliad. More illustrations and more illustrations, all showing the same thing, the land in the middle and this big river around. So I want you to see, let's take a listen to this. So what happened in 70 AD? Right? So what happened? So in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion. So this up to 70 AD, according to the Greeks, to the Iliad, to several people who describe the world, we had one center mass of land and this big river around it. So by the time of the Greeks and Jesus Christ, those regions had names. We had Asia, we had Europe, and we had Africa, three regions. Jerusalem probably was in the middle. Sometime in, modern history tells us that in 536, a lot of things happened. Cataclysmic events happened and led to changes on how the oceans, the land took place, started forming. So we have here from the hagiography documents this very interesting passage. This was documented in 2009. It has the book there. In the furthest north, beyond the lands of perpetual ice, stands the Black Mountain, Mount Niger, described by northern travelers, composed of the magnet stone that draws all needles towards it. According to accounts preserved by Irish monks who sailed those waters, this mountain emerged from the sea during the time of Emperor Justinian, when darkness covered the sun, 536, 737, 537 AD. So we dispute this date. I believe this happened in 70 AD, not in 536 AD. Upon its summit and surrounding islands dwell beings neither fully mortal nor angelic, but saints who have undergone the first resurrection described by John. Their bodies, though tangible, emit light and require no sustenance. They maintain a sanctuary built of materials unknown to fallen men, preserving knowledge from before the flood, governing world affairs during this millennium of relative peace. When the 1,000 years reach completion, calculated as approximately 1536 to 1540 AD, they shall welcome the faithful who find paths in their sanctuary before the ancient serpent is briefly unleashed. So this idea that this event happened in 536, I don't believe that's when it happened. It really happened in 70 AD. We see here in Revelation 6:12, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Now, you guys listen to this and think if this matches or not what Revelation is saying. Okay, so let's take a listen to this quick short video right here. And then I'll take a look at the chat. Okay, put on my glasses. It's right here.
Historical records claim that in 536 AD, the sun vanished for more than a year. A mysterious fog dimmed the skies, causing famine and plague. Modern science blames it on volcanic ash, maybe from Iceland, maybe Krakatoa, but nothing quite fits, so we don't really have a clear-cut answer or cause. According to believers of this theory, however, that didn't occur in 536 AD at all. Proponents argue that the darkening of the sun actually occurred in 70 AD, right after Christ's return. In many versions of this theory, the cosmic signs, like the darkened sun, fading stars, and celestial upheaval, occur with or just after Christ's return. Supporters tie in Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 24, Mark chapter 13, and Luke chapter 21, where he talks about the sun, moon, and stars going dark before the Son of Man appears, back to that judgment event in 70 AD. Others point to 2 Acts chapter 2 verses 19 through 20, where it says, and I quote, "The sun turned to darkness, the moon to blood," as a prophetic echo of that first century upheaval. And in Revelation chapter 6 verse 12, the same image appears again, when it says, and I quote again, "The sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the whole moon became as blood." So, in this theory, the later 536 AD date is seen not as a separate or second event, but as a mistranslation, redating, or symbolic retelling of what really happened in 70 AD. The darkened skies were not volcanic dust or due to natural disaster alone. They were the smoke and shadow of divine judgment, signaling the cleansing of the old world.
The worst year in human history was the year 536 AD.
Oh.
Okay, 536 AD. When was that? What was happening at that time?
They called it like the year of darkness. There was a volcano that erupted in Iceland that ended up making the sky dark around the entire world, or the recorded world, which would be like Europe, Asia, Africa, dark for an entire year from this cloud of how big
An entire year?
Entire year. Like to where all these different nations recorded that year of like the sun gave off light like the moon.
Oh my gosh.
Like it gave off no warmth, and the global temperature dropped 15 degrees within that year. And so there was mass famine.
Yeah,
it was like recorded in China that it was snowing during the summer.
Yeah. I think you're just describing Portland at this point. Like,
But what that did was, with the famine and all that stuff, all these rats would come in because it was so cold outside. They would come into homes, which ended up leading to the bubonic plague.
no way, because they carried it. Wow.
Yeah. It was like the first recorded plague was from the result of this volcano going off in Iceland.
Now we have to talk about Pompeii. Historically, Pompeii was a busy Roman city at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. And according to modern history books, the volcano erupted in 79 AD, sending a massive cloud of ash, pumice, and hot gases all over the city. Buildings collapsed, streets were burned, and thousands of people passed away in an instant. Archaeologists later uncovered the city under meters of ash and made plaster casts of the voids left by decomposed bodies. Those frozen, twisted poses that make Pompeii so haunting. Now, according to this theory, that official 79 AD story is part of a larger picture. Supporters of this theory claim Pompeii's destruction wasn't just a normal volcanic disaster, it was part of the same fervent heat that judged the old world in 70 AD. And believers of this theory say that this event took place in 70 AD, rather than 79 AD like we are led to believe. In that view, the frozen bodies, melted cities, and molten landscapes aren't only the result of ash and pyroclastic flows, rather, they're physical evidence of divine rule and judgment. Humans and buildings petrified in the single instant of God's cleansing fire. The perfectly stopped moment in the ruins becomes a marker of the larger purge that reshaped the world and melted the Nephilim-like forms into the landscape.
All right, extremely interesting stuff right there. Let me check the comments, but that really describes what happened. For example, when Peter says that the elements were going to burn in fervent heat, stuff like that. So, but that's my claim. My claim is that Pangea, or this idea of one continent in the middle, supercontinent, and this big river around journey existed up to the time, well, 70 AD. And the Greeks described it, the world, the way they saw it. This one continent in the middle, and with 250 million people only living in 70 AD, population that, it's around the same population we have in Brazil today, uh, perhaps a bit more concentrated. It was easier for the gospel to spread all over because Paul says in Colossians, and there's another passage where he says that the gospel had been preached already all over. So it makes it compelling evidence that these events in 70 AD was really way more, had way more consequences that we are believed. And it happened in 70 AD, not in 536 AD. We know it happened, but we are only finding out now. I never learned this, even though I have a master's degree in emergency management. I learned now about earth science. I never heard of those events in 536 AD. Never heard. They teach us about one volcano here, one volcano there, but never heard of this thing that happened in 536 AD. So let me just see here the chat. I still wanna. Thanks for the comment. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will talk about that some other time. Thanks so much. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Sorry about the crackling interference. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I have I don't know. I battle this all the time. I don't have like a professional live streaming. My microphone is as old as like 10 years old. But sorry about any problems with audio. Okay. So let me go on and finish this part. That's my claim. That's what I believe will happen. So where do we go from here? So 70 AD, we have this supercontinent, right? And then 70 AD, with all these things that happened, so it goes in. That's my opinion, that the continents were divided. And this is the Urbano Mount map, Urbano Monte map, Monte map. And so you went from this in 70 AD to this. The continents, the islands, I think the original Greek were gonna said that like the coasts were gonna be moving away, and for 1,000 years, from 70 AD to not this date. This is the date they give us, but I believe 1070 AD for 1,000 years. And so in 70 AD, went from this to this. And according to the Urbano Mountain map, we still had, during the Millennium Reign, we had nice weather all over the Earth, including this region right here, where is today Antarctica. So the lands changed considerably because all those events took place, and it took 1 year or more for things to, go back to normal. The sun went dark, the moon turned into blood, and it took over. All the plagues, happened right there. So, and then what happened after Satan was released? It went from this to this. That's what we have today. Before we had no ice around the rims here. We had no ice in the middle. Greenland was green. I was looking at the Urbano Monte map, and I translated into English here, some of the things here, the North Pole. And Greenland, in Italian, hold on, this map is high resolution, takes a while to populate. Perhaps it won't even populate. So the resolution here is like huge. I downloaded the, this is the highest resolution I could find. So right here, this is Greenland. And I see here, I can recognize Terra Verde. This is in Italian, but in Portuguese is the same, which means green land. So there was no ice at the time, and this map describes the world according to what it was during the Millennium Kingdom. And I'm not going to go over all this. I highlighted many things here, but let's wait for next week. We will talk just about this map. Right, so now, this is from a Norwegian book that not only described the same thing, like how they saw the world, and this mass land in the middle, but they described like the New Jerusalem in the sky. Now this is the North Pole, and they described this floating city. Right, let's zoom in a little bit. You see there, this floating city in the sky, described by pagans, by people who were not following Christianity, but they described the city in the sky. And I found this Japanese, this is a Japanese manga from the 90s that also described this floating city. So why all those people who are not even Christians are describing a floating city in the sky, which the Bible describes it, names it as the New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. So this is from this Japanese manga, 1990s. You can even see Japanese characters here describing this floating city. And in 2020, I think they made a movie based on this very same Japanese cartoon describing this floating city, Alito. I think the name is Alito. You can find the trailer on YouTube. Right? So all these people describing this floating city named Alita or Alito in the sky. So that's my claim that just like the Bible says, for this they really are ignorant of that by the word of God, the heavens were of old, and the earth is standing out of the water, and in the water, that's Peter describing. That's Peter describing this. So they described the world just like the Greeks did before it separated in about 70 AD. So Pangea did not take place in 200 million years ago. It really took place around 70 AD. So that's my claim, and I present here what I think are evidence, because all those Greek guys wrote about it, how they described the world, how they saw it. They didn't describe any spinning ball. And I did a video like 6 years ago that the Greeks never believed Earth was a spinning ball. Some of the claims they do today are manufactured, So this takes me back to this one thing right here. This is how the world it is now, all these destructions. So what caused all this destruction? This is in Algeria. This is a Roman city in Algeria. You see there, some of you have been seeing some videos of fires in Washington State right now. Looks very similar, looks like everything that was made of wood was burned down, and just the rocks were left standing. So what kind of heat would destroy this whole city? That's in Algeria. That's a Roman city in Algeria. It was destroyed, totally destroyed. You see streets, you see everything there. Okay. So this is according to the fake history. In a way, those people might have been inserted into history, but you see there, this happened most likely the first century upon the return of Jesus Christ. And if you go on, this is, of course, one of the places, just one. You see there, all these things just completely destroyed, left there. So what caused all this destruction all at once? And we have this place here. This is in Turkey, Mount Neyrut in Turkey. Same thing, huge. Those stones are huge. Those heads. I've seen one video where the person gets close to those heads right there. It's giant, just the head. Those, the person is really small, close to those heads right there. So why were all those places destroyed all around the same time? So what happened in 70 AD that destroyed all these cities? That's because, Dinodo was saying, oh, we don't see any destructions. Yes, it's everywhere. We see all the destruction. And just one more. So this is Rome being dug out. This is Rome being dug out in about 120 years ago. So Rome was totally buried for 1,000 years. I don't know for how long because we don't have any idea what year we are right now. But this is modern Rome being unearthed, and just in the late 1800s, early 1900s, 1920, some of these excavations, 30 feet of dirt, many places 40 feet of dirt being dug out. Even Pompeii, if you see, they are digging out Pompeii. So all those places from Turkey, Africa, Asia, all being, unearthed, right? This is still being done so. Some places they are still doing so. All these were covered, and they have been digging this stuff out in the last 150 years. So this cataclysmic event, you see there, I think this is Pompeii. This cataclysmic events happened not 200 million years ago, this separation of the continents. But it's my claim that this whole thing happened in 70 AD. We see here where this is where the temple used to be, not that place where they keep praying on the wall. No? And this is Chorazin, Bethsaida, completely destroyed. So everything that Jesus said in chapter 24, Gospel of Matthew, already took place. So this is my claim is that Pangea really happened in 70 AD, not 200 million years ago. The Greeks wrote about how the Oceanus was this current, big river churning around this center, the land masses in the center. And that's my claim, and I think if you look at the Iliad, the Homer, or some of those Greeks, they describe the world just like modern science claims that existed 200 million years ago. And all those the plagues from Revelation, in my opinion, took place in 70 AD, right after Jesus returned. He took those who were waiting for him alive, the ones who died in Christ. That was the first resurrection. They became the saints that reigned with Jesus for 1,000 years. So when we see, especially Orthodox imagery, the saints with the halo around their head, that shows the glorified saints. and they reigned with Jesus for 1,000 years. That's my claim. That's what I, claim that to have happened. So let me check the chat real quick. Then I still got more to talk about it. So Gunnar Hanson also attributed these events as divine intervention. Yes, he was a secular. He passed away, I think, in 2024. Was a secular historian, archaeologist, not religious at all. But as he went over 30,000 sites, Roman and Vikings, and he realized all those people lived at the same time, and it had to be something supernatural to destroy all those cities at the same time. All those places had to be something supernatural. So I hope you guys. Sorry about the cracking. I can't help it with that. Thanks for. Yeah, it's called Alito, the Japanese. I'll see if I can find here and share with you. Just a second, okay? Telling the truth. Yeah, the Greeks were they were describing, they were just like people today describe like the fires that's happening in Washington State right now, or Maui. People were documenting, placing videos. So they were describing the world as they saw the world at that time. So Pangea wasn't something that happened 200 million years ago. The Greeks wrote it. That's how it was the time they were alive. So that takes me back to what we talked about last week. We talked about dispensationalism, and I know Dinodo has been beating that same drum, dispensationalist drum, very hard, and he ignores a bit. So this is what I took it from Wikipedia. I was supposed to show this last week. Futurism in Christianity. So during the Reformation, historicism was the dominant view. All or nearly all of the reformers saw the Pope as the Antichrist. Futurism emerged after this time as a Roman Catholic response to historicism. This rise of futurism is generally associated with a Jesuit priest named Francisco Ribera. Ribera is said to have developed his scheme for the purpose of refuting historicism and its papal antichrist. A scheme similar to Ribera's was put forward by Italian Archbishop Robert Bellarmine, 1542-1621. Another Jesuit, Manuel Lacunza, wrote in favor of futurism under the pen name Ben Ezra, and his work was banned by the Catholic Church until the 19th century. The futurist view was generally shunned by non-Catholics, being seen as a self-defense of the papacy against the claims of historicist reformers. So the position that Dinodo takes today is a Jesuit position. Whether he wants to accept it or not, it's up to him. He's a leader of the church. He studies, he's a researcher. Whether he is purposely hiding this information from his church, that's going to be up to him. Let me do it again real quick here. So this is Clarence Larkin, and the pyramid, they based on the pyramid right there. He wrote his whole book, Dispensational Truth, based on the pyramid and how he came up. So this is from his book online. You can find the book online. It's called Dispensational Truth. Chapter 32, where he goes on describing the pyramids and how it contains the prophecies God wrote on the pyramid, the time of the ages. And then he goes on his book, all his illustration. You see the ball earth, heliocentric, the creation of the earth, first day, cosmic light, and then the second day, firmament formed, the firmament around the ball earth. Then the earth becomes flat somehow, but it's a ball. And then here, solar light restored. So he claims that the sun already existed, but God restored. He removed all the, whatever was covering the whole earth. So this is the evangelical guy, drawing these charts. 6 days, see out there, the New Jerusalem coming down on the whole earth. Great white throne on the whole earth. So these are the charts, okay? Just gonna go real quick because Daniel's 7th week, that's how they came up with the gap between the 6, 9, and 70 week, because it's written on the pyramids according to these guys. All right, so a lot of things here to consider. If you think about the Satan's little season, why we are claiming we are in Satan's little season, it's because it's evident that these prophecies, these things happen already. If we don't have if the Greeks were describing the land just before Christ being all together in the center and this big river running, churning around it, and then we have all these events happening, they claim to have happened in 536 AD, which I believe happened in 70 AD, when the continents spread apart from each other. So logically, the prophecies, we don't have any prophecies for today, like everything was fulfilled. We only have Christ now, and that's what we have. All right, so I'm gonna play a song now. This is a song while I catch up on the. Yeah, sorry about I was not sharing the screen. I'm so sorry, but I did it. I think I got it right now. So let me play this song real quick, and I'll go over the chat.
Keegan, Macoonan, McDuffie, Macflew, to Contact for the Macroof, who end the MacDibet, Mac once and for all, and show that we live on the spinning Mac ball.
Macduffie, Macflew, to Antarctica for the Mactruth, to end the MacDibit, Mac once and for all, and show that we live on this spinning Mac ball. Mactood and Macduffie, Macflew, to Antarctica for the Mactruth, to end the MacDibet, Mac once and for all, and show that we live on the spinning Mac ball. Keegan, Mactoon, and Macduffie, Macflew, to Antarctica for the Mactruth, to end the MacDibet, Mac once and for all, and show that we live on the spinning Mac ball. Keep it once and for all, to end the
that with once and for all to end the hatred that once and for all that show that we could and born.
Shout out to Mr. Cheswick. Their new song by him. Very funny song. Next week we're going to be talking about TFE. I don't want to cram it all together in one show like today, but next week we'll be talking about a bit about TFE back. All right, so Victoria, I have not gone back to the last week live stream, so I know you'll be handling all the comments there. I haven't commented at all. I will do so this week because when we talk about these things, this takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. We cannot fix, many things. I cannot fix, let's say, Christianity. There's 140,000 different divisions out there. And I'm just sticking to the words that Jesus said. He spoke to the people right in front of him. He said those things were going to be destroyed. The temple was going to be destroyed. Peter wrote about the elements were going to be dissolved. And now those churches that exist at the time, they have all been destroyed. The cities, Ephesus, everywhere you go, it's just ruins. And so I stick to what the Bible says. I don't stick with any Jesuit that, talking about futurism. And I don't understand why Dinodo does not talk about this fact. He omits that. But I understand because when you have political aspirations, you gotta play along, gotta go along with the, dance according to the music. Perhaps he doesn't know that some things are not revealed to him. It will be revealed. Like, let's say that he becomes a governor. And that I'm saying this because I'm based on what Jesse Ventura said. So Jesse Ventura, he ran for the governor of Minnesota. He became governor. He became governor there. And once he became a governor, he found out there was a seat inside the mansion there, the governor's mansion, of a permanent. There is a permanent position there. That's not, the person is not elected. It's just a permanent position. The guy stays there until he dies. Then somebody else places another guy there. And the guy basically just do most of the decisions, just like the gray pope. We think that the black pope or the white pope does the thing, but there's a gray pope. He is the one who decides. So, he sticks with the regular McHugh, Tim McGraw, Mossad, Maxwell books, history books, and he claims I talked to you guys several weeks ago about the documents from the King of Portugal. They wrote to the Pope in the 1300s, saying they had already discovered land. Brazil was theirs, way before Columbus even existed. I showed you guys the documents, the place where the archives in the Vatican is, but Dinodo preferred to believe, that some pilgrims came over, in 1600s and found America, all that stuff, So let's listen to what this guy has to say here.
Said that the Revolutionary War was a psychological operation and that the founding fathers are not who they were made out to be. Can you dive into that?
Here's the raw truth. The Revolutionary War was largely a controlled transfer of power, not the glorious fight for freedom we're taught. The real picture. Many of the founding fathers were high-level Freemasons, deeply connected to European secret societies. Washington, Franklin, Jefferson, and others operated within the same occult and banking networks that controlled Europe. The war created the illusion of breaking away from the British Crown, while the financial control system remained firmly in the hands of the same families and institutions, especially the City of London banking houses. The war generated enormous debt. That debt became the mechanism to eventually bring the new independent nation back under financial control. The Constitution itself contains loopholes that were later exploited to turn the United States into a corporation in 1871. Citizens were gradually turned into corporate assets through birth certificates and later social security numbers, pledged as collateral to international bankers. The founding fathers weren't saints. Many of them were part of the same power structure they claimed to oppose. They understood ritual, symbolism, and energy. Washington, D.C.'s street layout is pure occult geometry. The timing of the Declaration of Independence and the design of the Great Seal are loaded with esoteric meaning. The war was brilliant theater. It divided the population and created strong emotional loyalty to the new system. It wiped out much of the old power structure under the guise of independence. It allowed a new management layer to be installed with fresh branding, land of the free. The elite learned a valuable lesson. It's much easier to control people who believe they are free than people who know they're slaves. The Revolutionary War was the first major modern psyop that perfected this technique. This is why you see the same bloodlines and banking dynasties maintaining control for centuries, regardless of which side appears to win wars. The Revolutionary War was never about freedom from monarchy. It was about installing a more sophisticated system of control that used the language of liberty while keeping the same masters in charge.
You guys remember that little girl who traced all the presidents to the king, I think it was King George of England, all of them including Obama. So this idea that this nation was created because of some people who wanted to be free of England, no, it's all connected. It's all connected. So Dinaldo thinks that the history published by the McGraw-Hill books, it's true history. So how can you even argue, Like he talks about the Russians and the Chinese. Well, the people who installed the government of Russia, the Soviets, left New York to do so. They went 300 people, they left New York, they traveled from New York to Russia, and they installed the Soviets there. The communists. They came from New York City, and this is also from China, because now he's been talking about China here, China there. So look at this here, right there. Let's see if I find it here.
Now everyone thinks China is against Israel and the United States. But what if I told you the CCP was installed by the Jews and still works with Israel? Let's start off with this picture that has been scrubbed off the internet. You have the first chairman of the CCP, Mao Zedong, who went to Yale and was a part of the secret society Skull and Bones. The Rothschilds controlled Mao with funding organized by Israel Epstein, who you'll see on his left. And you have Solomon Adler and Frank Coe. They were influential in the Jewish contributions to the Chinese Revolution. Here's the new game Moles on Rainbet. To overthrow the prior government to install the CCP. These men were a part of Roosevelt's war cabinet. Pretty much the same thing with Trump having the Kushners and the Miriam Adelsons of today's time. The People's Republic of China was founded in 1949, when the Chinese Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, won the Chinese Civil War against the nationalists and declared the new communist state on October 1st, 1949, which was funded by the Rothschilds to install the CCP. The Zionists were majorly funded by two Jewish family dynasties that made their fortune with the opium trade throughout China, the Sassoons and the Kadoris. But as a result of this, 1 out of every 10 Chinese citizens became addicted to the drug. Both of these families transformed Shanghai after World War I, changed the face of the city and even the country, China. They built hotels, nightclubs, and casinos. Their influence was so strong the Chinese came up with a word that described Jewish workers, and that word was Sassoon. So now you're seeing who funded and created the CCP. Let's fast forward. CIA Director James Woolsey 1993 stated Israel was China's main source of advanced defense tech since 1989. Israel has passed U.S. military technology to China over the years, including a secret U.S. missile and electro-optics technology. Israel allegedly used U.S.-funded technology from the canceled Lavi Jet project to assist China's J-10 fighter development, which included avionics, flight controls, etc. This violates the U.S. Arms Export Control Act, which requires approval for retransfers of U.S. origin items. Netanyahu said he's looking to marry Israel's technology with China's capacity. While the mainstream media is telling you China is the bad guy, they are a part of the same team we just merged with. That's why I've been trying to tell you this is all theater when you zoom out. The one world government has already been in effect. If World War III does happen, the leaders of each country are in on it. And World War III is what you call the Holy War. It's to have the Christians and Muslims destroy each other.
So they are all working together. They were installed by the same people. And that I want to talk about these Tartarian maps here. Because, they'll keep saying all the time, Jesus, the Romans and the Chinese. Well, China was nothing. Even in the time of, 1700s, according to this map, China was a small region, very small region here. Had the Great Wall of Tartaria, of course. You see on all those maps. So India was way more powerful because we find in the book of Ruth, the Bible, talked about India. But China wasn't even united. It was like a whole bunch of tribes. It's just like the American Indians, the native Indians, so many different tribes. So that's why we cannot say like the empire of North America before the Europeans, because all those tribes were separated. Same thing in it's just China. It wasn't this powerful empire, Chinese empire before. No, actually, it was the communists who really united China. But even today, they are a bit divided. See there, all those, even the Tartaria maps. China was small, smaller than India. It has grown now because of communism. But see there, China was really small. Now, if you go back to 70 AD, it was just a very small kingdom. If the whole population of the world was 250 million people, China was just a couple million people. So there, China, have Japan right here, China, and all those countries, Tartaria. All right, so let me see if I still got a few more things to do because the shows it's time goes so fast. It's around we've been going on for over an hour already, and I haven't still got a little bunch of stuff to do. So I don't want to just cram things together, but sometimes I have to. But let me share this news here. Trump is back talking about Greenland, right? Greenland is back on the menu, and perhaps we know why. They got to prepare themselves. If they want to go ahead and do all the evil things they have to do, they might find opposition coming from the North Pole. So this was on the news last night. I saw it on the news, and it's been on the news recently. Where is it? Bookmarks. Right here. Dutch NATO troops to take Greenland aimed Trump's push to take his island from Denmark. That's August 8th, just a couple of days ago. Today is the 10th. He is making moves again towards Greenland, and he wants to take over the land. All right, so I still got more things to show you guys, but I want to show this thing right here. That's why I'm going to be talking about TFE next week. So I downloaded this PDF from Union Glacier. And if you guys see here, this red line, well, this is the area. They are confined. If you pay $35,000 to go to Union Glacier, you are confined to that area. You cannot cross that red line. You cannot cross the red line. They have cones marking how far you can go. So this is comparing the size of the airplane here. This is compared to, let's say, a big airport. That's where you are. You are in an area like a big airport, and you cannot leave that area. You cannot pass, and I went over the 10 pages long document. This red line right here marks the limit, how far you can go. You pay $35,000 to go to Union Glacier, and they say, oh, anybody can go to Antarctica. Yeah, anybody can go and stay there, just like you can go visit Alcatraz, the prison Alcatraz, and stay there. You cannot leave because it's ocean all around. And that's the same thing. You go, you pay $35,000, and you can't leave that area. You are confined into this area right here. You cannot leave this area. You can't. You just can't. You are confined. It's just like a zoo. You place an animal in a zoo, he's free as far as that area only. You cannot leave that area. So same thing here, right? Union Glacier. All right, so let me catch up here. And sorry about all I forgot to share my screen for almost 10 minutes. All right, let me catch up here, guys. Yeah, for your own safety. They have cones there. You can zoom in and see the cones. They cannot go past that area at all. So shout out to all of you who are here. Crystal is in the house. All of you. Thanks. So the main idea of the show today was to claim that the Greeks described the world as it was at the time they were writing. This concentrated landmass and the ocean around it, what they call Pangea, that happened like 200 million years ago. It was actually up to the time of the Greeks, prior to 70 AD. And I think all this division of the continents happened. The sun went dark for over a year. They claimed at the same time volcanoes exploded all over Indonesia, South America, Asia, North America, Europe, all at the same time. So it's the same as saying like the land broke apart, earthquakes everywhere, and we have all those destructions all happening at the same time. All right, let me share my YouTube channel here, what I have been up to. And again, I haven't uploaded many videos for the Flat Earth ceremonies this week. I'll try to do so. As you guys know, Japan is going through some difficult times. It was helped by the US, rescued the yen, really weak, really weak. Japan's economic collapse, curse between China and USA into 2026, double squeeze. Japan bankruptcies in January to June, top 5,000 for first time in 12 years. 5,000 companies folded, in the past 6 months. Tough new permanent residence measures trigger concern in Japan. Due to the economic things going on, so They want to make it a little bit less attractive for people to come to Japan. You know, when the economy was booming, they had no problems at all bringing people. But now the economy is down, so you know they're making things really difficult for people to come. But it's still a beautiful country. You know, it's nice. I like it here, and you know, I hope I get to stay. That they don't change the permanent uh, residency laws, because if they do, you know, my daughters and I we live here, so we might have to go somewhere else. I don't know. You know, I hope that doesn't happen. So, guys, if you want to support the channel, I'm going to share here one more time. Just go to my channel, click on one of the links, any video you see there. This is the latest about the North Pole. Click on any video, go to the description box. You can support getting a t-shirt or a map, listeners map. If you want to become a Patreon, I would appreciate. You know, the Patreonship has helped me a lot lately because I haven't worked as much as I used to before. I used to help people out. I used to donate money. I used to support people here and there, you know. And but things have changed, especially after COVID and after I had some health problems. So I'm working way less than I used to. But, you know, never required. It's always appreciated, right? PayPal, Patreon, or visit the store, get a map, get a t-shirt. So I want to play one more song. Then we will be back for the final part of the show. So let me choose a nice song here. Since we were talking about, let's talk about, oh yeah, this thing right here.
Turn on the news, it's all a lie. Elites in suits deciding who lives and dies. Gates on stage, smiling wide, talking population like it's genocide. They own the airwaves, control the feed. Big pharma profits while the people bleed. He stood up tall in that headlight glow. 2010, let the whole world know. 6.8 billion headed to 9, but with our shots and health design, we can lower that 10-15%. Didn't say kill, but that's what he meant. Jabs, healthcare, reproductive control, saving the kids, nothing in the soul. Big pharma pockets lined with gold, while we line up doing what we're told. Government pushes the needle deep, media calls us crazy if we speak. Bill Gates wants less of us on this earth, talking to population like it's rebirth. Shots in our arms for profit and gain. Big pharma laughs while we feel the pain. Government lies, media pins the tail. Wake up, fight back, we will not fail. We will not fail. He said it plain on camera, no shame. Lower the numbers, playing his game. Elites decide who breathes the air while we pay the price. It ain't fair, they traumatize us, steal our rights slow for power and money. That's the show. He warned us clear, another wave coming soon. Fauci echoed the tune under the moon. Surprise outbreak, they both prophesied. How they know, cause it's planned inside. Events will now rehearse the fear. Months before the disease appeared. Lock us down, steal our rights away for control and cash, that's how they play. Big pharma rush the shots to market fast. Billions in profits, side effects mass. Government mandates, no questions asked. Bill Gates wants less of us on this earth, talking depopulation like it's rebirth. sell the cure. Trauma and fear keep us insecure. Needles and mandates divide and rule, while billionaires watch from their private pool. Media blackouts on the injured cry. Censor the truth, spread the lies. Carrie Mullis, Nobel Truth Teller, bold inventor of PCR story untold. Before he died in 2019, said loud and clear on the screen, these tests ain't made for diagnosis at all, just amplification, that's the call. Can't tell sick from well, just fragments they find, but they use it to lock down mankind. Convenient time and he spoke the truth, then gone too soon, no more proof. Megalomaniacs in their ivory towers, playing God with unholy powers. Media puppets repeat the script. Big pharma rakes in every cent. They traumatize kids, destroy the free, offer their new world tyranny. But we see through the smoke and lies. The people rise, open their eyes. No more chains, no more control. We take back our bodies, our minds, our soul. Gates Fauci, the whole damn crew. Your game's exposed, we're coming for you. No more fear, no more blind trust. Your empire crumbles into dust. Oh, Bill Gates wants less of us on this earth. Talking depopulation like it's rebirth. Shots in on for profit and gain. Big pharma laughs while we feel the pain. Government lies, media spins the tale. Wake up, fight back, we will prevail. We will prevail. He said it himself, 10 to 15. Lower the number, know what I mean. Carry wonders, test for fraud. Rise up now against the overlords. We won't bow, we won't break. Truth will win for humanity's sake.
All right, guys, this song is right here on my, you guys go to my channel or playlist. It's called Flat Earth Music. Start your curious, the ending song is always the top one. And this one that I just finished playing, it's called The Wolves by Laser Test Music. He wrote the song. He just asked Sono for the song, for the beat, but for the music, but he wrote the song. The Missing J, which I love this song. So you see all the songs that I play here are right there. Flat Earth Music, just go there to my channel. It's a playlist. All the songs that I play here is right here. All of them, including the TFE songs, you know, the Jaren's Home Depot Earth right there. All the songs are right there, okay? So download, share, it's up to you. All right, guys, I think that's going to be all for today. I appreciate. I will be, Victoria, I'm going to be watching, responding the last week's stream. It takes a lot of energy, you know, to concentrate, to go over this stuff. But I just wish that, you know, though, would understand that everything is a lie. If he wants to try to get elected to change things, it will be very hard, you know, because everything is controlled. We are in Satan's little season. So Satan rules this world right now. So it's very hard to go against, you know. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Yuko, Crystal, all of you who are here. So many good people. Thank you all. I appreciate, you know, it's good to share some time with you guys and talk about flat Earth. This is a flat Earth channel, and about little season, Satan's little season. That's what we have to the conclusion. Come to the conclusion. Since everything in the Bible is already past, what Jesus spoke was going to happen already happened. So the only time that we find fitting the Bible is after the Millennium Kingdom, when Satan is released to deceive the nations. That's what he's doing right now, ultimately to circle the camp of the saints at the North Pole. As we keep seeing the news, I don't think they're going to play the alien cards. Some of my Brazilian friends think they have changed it because nobody cared about their movie, the release of Disclosure Day. Nobody cared. They've been talking about alien disclosure for a year. Nobody cares about it. So they might scrape that out. We don't know. Unless the New Jerusalem comes down and they claim it's some sort of alien spaceship invading Earth. So I'll see you guys again next week. All right, take care. Hope you guys have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Wonderful, magical, celestial light, fantastical, mystical, wonderful sight. Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931, first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air view stratosphereus. A scientist curious to see what was there. An aluminium black ball on a helium balloon, hydrogen with photos and instruments, sailed towards the moon, rose in just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of depth air pressure, up a dead drop in heat and cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight, flat line separation of black from blue light, a world run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light. Mystical, fluorescent light, wonderful, magical, awesome, yes, stealing our light. Wonderful, heavy light, supernatural, eternal, up we go, higher than rainbows, higher than mountains, above cumulonimbus, higher than air, high level horizon, 360 around us, but right round behind us, any height that you dare. The sun and the moon both revolve above around us, to forever short time past intelligently there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, no more you deceive us, keep the real light there. Kipper and Picard were the first ever known to reach up there. Divine luminescent light, mystical, wonderful, celestial light. So what was their eternal testimony? What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a divine creation, a clockwork of light, designed hid by deceivers and false make-believers, still cowering in shadows, still fearing our light. Here we go, higher than Everest, higher than airplanes, above zero cumulus, higher than air, high level horizon, 360 around us, no motion beneath us, no spinning stars on the firmament, turn them all around us, to forever short time past geometrically there.
resistance, Kipper and Picard. Never you'll defeat us, forever beneath us. We see through you like air.